Hey sellers, let's talk about your asking price. When you put your house on the market, your goal should be to sell it as quickly as possible and for the best possible price. But too many sellers are shooting too high right now. They don't realize that the market has shifted as inventory has grown. The side effect, price cuts are on the rise, but they really don't have to be. Here's why. According to data from Realtor.com, in February, price cuts were the highest they've been in any other February since 2019. So yes, we are still in a decline since COVID. If you consider that 2019 was the last true normal year for the housing market, that's a pretty big deal. We're getting back to what's typical for the market. This isn't the same frenzied sellers market that we saw a few years ago, and that means you need to reset your expectations. The reality? If you shoot too high and have to lower your price after the fact, you could actually end up walking away with lower offers than if you'd priced it right from the start. So how do you avoid that? Well, of course, you lean on us or an agent that you trust. A great agent doesn't just pull a number out of thin air. They use real data and market trends to make sure your house is priced on what your specific home is valued at today, not yesterday, 3 years ago, or during COVID. So you're setting a realistic price here, one that will draw in serious buyers. Our clients are used to seeing a lot of data when they are both selling and buying. Here's how we will determine the right number for your house. First, we look at recent sales. What did similar homes in your area actually sell for? Not list for, but sell for. What adjustments are needed for square footage, lot size, bathroom count, garage size, etc.? Are there any custom features that should be accounted for in the value? These are just some of the data points we collect and assess. We also analyze the local market trend. Your home's value isn't just about what you want to sell it for. It's about what buyers in your area are willing to pay. Buyer psychology is incredibly important to understand. Good agents craft the right strategy to make sure your home is priced to attract attention and create a sense of urgency among current buyers. Now let's talk about why overpricing backfires. Unfortunately, some sellers still ignore their agent's advice and prefer to start high just to see what happens. The hope being that they're going to get their full asking price right away, or they at least have more wiggle room for negotiation. But pricing high usually ends up costing you. And here's why. First, buyers may not even look at your home. Today's buyers are more budget conscious than ever. If they see a home that seems overpriced, they're likely to skip it completely rather than try to negotiate. Buyers right now are more educated than at any other time in history. Trust me, they can sense when a house is priced too high. Second, it could sit on the market for too long. The longer your home sits unsold, the more buyers will assume something's wrong with it, which can make it even harder to sell down the line. Now, this isn't always the case, but more times than not, it's true. Plus, you may end up getting less. Homes that require a price cut often sell for less than they would have if they had been priced right from the start. You can see that shake out in this graph. It uses data from the National Association of Realtors to show that the longer a house sits, the less it will sell for. This graph also shows that if a house sells within the first weeks it is listed, it usually goes for full price. Based on experience, that's what usually happens to homes that are priced right. Buyers will be interested and willing to pay the asking price, or compete with other buyers and even go maybe a little over asking. But that's not going to happen if the price is already too high. If a house is not priced right, it doesn't sell as quickly. And the graph shows that after the first 4 weeks on the market, the price starts to drop from there. That's because buyer interest falls off the longer it sits. So it becomes more likely a seller will either accept an offer that's lower because that's all they have, or opt to do a price drop to draw people back in. Ultimately, the bottom line, the last thing you want to do is to list too high. Watch your house sit and then have to drop the price just to get attention. Let's connect so that doesn't happen to you. We want to make sure your home sells quickly and for the best price. Let's go over the right pricing strategy for your house.